I have changed from using my personal Microsoft Surface to the Ipevo visualizers that are in all lecturing rooms now. I lecture maths, so I need to demonstrate line by line where the solution is coming from. With the new visualizer, I can screenshot each section or page, but more importantly, I can create short videos showing my writing the solutions with my voice explaining what I am doing. I can do this live in class or before class and save the MP4 that is maybe 2 or 3 minutes in length for each example. The mature students in particular are finding this playback option very useful, as they can listen to my explanation of a particular example at home over the weekend. Also, if a student is absent for a hurling match for the college team, for example, which is quite common with my construction management students, they can review the examples later if they so wish. I communicate locations of the MP4 files via my Maths Learn Online page. What is actually happening is that I am saving the files to my GMIT OneDrive in a shared folder called Videos. I then set this up for the first video in a lecture, and the visualizer automatically saves subsequent videos to the same location. The link to this folder is a hyperlink on my Learn Online page. My students can then copy and paste this link from my Learn Online page to be redirected to my OneDrive page where I have the MP4s stored. The visualizer names the files by date followed by a 6-digit number. This is not very helpful. It is of particular importance that files are named in a logical way so that every MP4 is uniquely identifiable, in order and easily understood by the students. I have, say, 15 topics per academic year. I print all examples for semester 1 in a class handout. Within each topic, I could have, say, 30 maths questions. I use the words handout 1 or handout 2 or whatever consistently in class, so that I might be on, say, handout 3 question 6, for example, or handout 3 question 7. If I record the solutions to these maths problems, I go back into the OneDrive after the lecture and rename my little MP4 HO3 question 2 or so on, in chronological order for the entire year. So what are the advantages of the Ipevo visualizer over my old system using EndNote on my Microsoft Surface? Firstly, I need to physically carry less to the lecture. I don't need to plug anything in. I don't need to hope the connecting cables are working. When using the Surface in the new building, I would have to stand at a podium to ensure access to the Surface, while in older parts of the campus I would be sitting at a desk depending on where the connecting cables are. With Ipevo, every setup is exactly the same in every room. I am therefore using less energy in the initial lecture setup, which is often quite stressful when a cable won't connect or the Surface needs to be recharged or something mid-lecture. In some of the newer installations of Ipevo visualizers, the visualizer is held in a holding loop rather than attached rigidly to the desk. This loop is really helpful, as the location of the visualizer can be adjusted depending on whether you are right or left-handed. Sometimes, if I have an example pre-recorded, I will sometimes play the actual recording during the lecture. This can be change the pace of the lecture, the method of delivery, and the students relate well to these changes. Their attention alters for the better. So what are the disadvantages of Ipevo? Well, I'm using paper to write on, and in this time of waste minimisation, that is not good. However, I do recycle the paper I use, and one of my colleagues is researching the cost of reusable A4 notebook that can be written on, saved and then erased, and this might be coming down the line. Another disadvantage, on a lighter note, is that it is not a whole pile of fun having to listen to myself during the class playback, and I'm always shocked at how bad I really sound. So, all in all, it has been hugely beneficial to my lecturing. It creates more interactive and accessible learning for my students, and that couples with other techniques of peer teaching within the classroom and group work. The Ipevo Visualiser creates another way of keeping students engaged in a subject that is often perceived to be difficult, so that, coupled with a bit of humour, I endeavour to enhance the learning outcomes of my lovely students.